How's it going, guys? It's Joe. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about our Grand Arena matchups here, and I've got round 2 currently against Nox, and I have to say this particular matchup was a bit awkward. I found that I took a lot of risks in this battle, and it helped me learn a couple of things about what matchups are strong against which, and it helped me learn a little bit about undersizing as well. So I find that my entire goal with Grand Arena Championships every time it comes around is that I really want to get to Kyber, and I'm getting fairly close to Kyber, and just looking at the opponent's roster here in the background, it looks like I'm gonna hit Kyber regardless. So whenever that happens to me, I feel like this is a good time to be experimenting and trying out a few new things, and that way moving forward we didn't just do our typical Grand Arena Championship, but we've actually learned something moving forward. So I'm quite happy to be able to show you guys that recently I've made a video going against this particular lineup, although this Supreme Leader Kylo Ren is a bit weaker than what I would have wanted it to be. It's not Gear 12 or Relict, so he's working on it, it looks like. And I actually showed you guys a video of this particular lineup that works against this Supreme Leader Kylo Ren on defense. So the first thing I want to do is I want to place that Factoid shield generator on old Ben. And now, since there's no Sith Trooper here, this makes it so much easier, as I can very quickly just mark Supreme Leader Kylo Ren there and start hitting all the opposing team's characters here. Although I wasn't sure why marked didn't stick on Supreme Leader Kylo Ren for some reason. If any of you guys know what mechanic that was, could you please let me know on the comments? I'd be grateful for that. However, as you guys know, once you place that weapon tech on Gas and Grandmaster's trainee, he just absolutely decimates everyone on the opposing team. So I'm quite happy with the result of this particular matchup, where he had a Malak under a Supreme Leader Kylo Ren lead, and I didn't have to use GK. As everyone knows, GK is pretty important under a Padme lead. So 58 banners, I'm quite happy with that result. The problem is now I've cut my Jedi team down a fair bit. So I'll have to be a little bit more creative and try all these other lineups that I can possibly go for. So I find GACs like this much more exciting regardless of winning or losing. And I was actually able to throw out my IPD here as well under a EP lead, which is pretty awesome. As you all know, guys, this is a good counter against General Grievous. I'm going to isolate Magna Guard here to begin with. And the goal here is try to get that special ability out on Imperial Probe Droid, and then finally we're able to see General Grievous there come out of stealth. Gonna apply shock onto B2, stop all that assisting from happening, and they're going for our Traya here. We're just waiting on our Nihilist to take a turn, as Grievous is free to be taken out. At this point, I've placed shock on 3 of the characters on the left side there, and I'm just gonna try and drop 1 stack of Battalion, and I've got Grievous there with Annihilate. So you may not be able to get your banners back with this team, unfortunately, without Thrawn. That was what I found with using IPD instead of Thrawn. Although Thrawn can be used for pretty much everything. He is 100% value. So I'll take this any day. I believe I got about 56 banners in this battle, and I couldn't get back my protection here, as you guys can see. I'm trying to find ways to get them back. And this was pretty awesome to actually play. I found that a lot of my opponents in my GAC shard that I get always play SWAT Tambor with their General Grievous team or Newt Gunray. And those teams are quite effective, and oftentimes this counter doesn't work. So it's always an accomplishment for me whenever I'm able to defeat General Grievous with this counter. So in the top line here, it looks like they've got Separatists and Geos with Wampa. And in the bottom line, there's Nightsisters. So against Nightsisters, I've been trying to farm my Bounty Hunter squad. However, they're not ready yet. Oh well, they are, but I was able to actually farm them mid-GAC. And as you guys all know, once you lock into GAC, that's it. You don't get any more buffs or upgrades until the next one. So I just threw out my Padme squad here. So this particular lineup, the main goal is to try and stop Asajj from doing that, which he just did, which is fine as well. Eventually we're going to get some of our protection up back and get some courage stacks going, as GK will taunt and soak up all that damage. So we're just stuck behind the taunt here from the zombie. And we've dropped Asajj once, and that's the second drop there. And Daka already used her revive, so she wasn't able to reuse her revive ability. And now we're gonna go on Talzin here. And that's pretty optimal banners there, guys. 58, I'm quite happy with that. In the back line, we've got a Hux-led First Order and a Clone Wars Chewbacca-led Scoundrels, which I give an A for this guy's creativity. I think it's pretty cool that he mixed a couple of teams in. So this is probably the most disappointing matchup that I attempted in this GAC. Although there's always something to be learned, as I've used this counter before and with the similar strategy in TW, and it seems to have worked out. However, there is a Wampa here, so that's changed things up a little bit. And the other thing was, I was hoping to drop that Geo Soldier with that assist. However, that wasn't the case, and I actually got Daze on Chewbacca here, which is really unfortunate, as I had modded him for tenacity, but I still got dazed. And now I'm stuck behind this taunt, and Chewbacca's not assisting, which is really unfortunate. I had modded my CLS for speed as well, where I probably should have focused more on survivability if I was thinking about going against Geos. So once CLS got dropped there, guys, I already knew I would lose this battle, and apart from that, I had also risked it and went for the undersize with just R2-D2. And the problem here is, if I let this go and continue, I'll be fighting a preloaded team. So I was better off just quitting then and there and just reattempting with my Nightsisters here, which is another practice run for me, as I've only just gotten my Talzin Relict and modded fairly optimally for offense. And I'm actually quite happy about my Nightsisters squad at the moment, as I have more use for them on offense than I do on defense currently. So I'm going for Geo Spy here in the back as he's off stealth for a bit. Gonna apply some of those defense downs with Asajj's AoE. And now I'm gonna use my special ability on Geo Soldier to get rid of one of the Geos here. And we're gonna dispel some of those buffs on the opposing team. And GAC has always been that part of the game for me where I'm able to learn and experiment new things. And I think that's everyone's struggle with this game is there's not many game modes where you can actually practice your B or C tier teams, as everyone runs their best team in Squad Arena and you can only ever practice your top team there, unfortunately, and you'll probably practice your soft counters to, I guess, the Galactic Legends and things, or even practice your gas counters. So as I had lost that battle against the Geos, theoretically speaking, I should have just gone with my Nightsisters from the get-go. But it's always good to try new things and learn new things with GAC. So in the back line here, I've actually used up all my Jedi, and I didn't want to throw in Shakti as I can still have use for her with my clone team. So I was a little bit indecisive here. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't leaving myself with no teams to use towards the end. So this is a Count Dooku led separatist lineup with Nest. It's a pretty high relic Nest, and this is probably the pivotal matchup in this game, as I believe that I could have gotten more banners here. I was going for Droidica, got that Daze on, and we made quick work of Droidica, and Newt has revived. So my main issue here was that this Nest was hits pretty hard. As you can see, we've got most of our protection lost on Rex there, and I was hoping to save the aerial advantage for when Enfys Nest was had a bit less protection up and health. I tried that there and it didn't scratch her one bit, so yeah. The thing with Nest is you've got to wait for her to take a turn and hopefully do enough damage at that point in time where she doesn't have her protection up. And as you're about to see, guys, I'm gonna lose one of my clones because this Nest hits pretty hard, and we're gonna force a sacrifice on 5s. As you can see, she's about half protection up, half health at that point in time, where I could have used my aerial advantage. Now I just have to utilize basics and circle around. Her counterattacks are really doing a ton of damage. And the idea here was for Nest to actually take out one of our other characters. However, she actually went for 5s. So we didn't even get our tactical awareness Zeta. And we almost lost Rex here as well, which I'm glad she actually didn't go for Rex towards the end. We got some regeneration on Rex, and we finally got that aerial advantage to go with about a quarter health she had there. Oh, that's where I lost most of my banners, I believe. And in the back line here, I still held on to my first order squad. And I just used them to go against this Hux-led first order. So that's a pretty fast Hux as he went second. Gonna pass on some turn meter to my allies here. And I fractured Sith Trooper there, as his assists can be really devastating and he can make quick work of our team if left alone. So Hux is another issue here, as he has so much speed and is passing on so much turn meter to the opposing team, so I decided to stun him there. Gonna pass turn meter on to Throne here and gain some more protection up on some of my characters. I decided to throw it on First Order Executioner, as he can drop the opponent's turn meter. Finally able to get rid of that Hux there. And I'm gonna work on the opposing team's Executioner as well. So this was another banner stealing team. And at this point, I'm just trying to get more of my banners back. And I'm trying to get Throne to take as many turns as possible, and that way I can keep passing on turn meter around. And get a bit of that protection back. Pass that on to First Order Officer, as I don't think I could have recovered enough protection on anyone else to actually affect my banner count. And I got 55 banners there. And this was my most efficient battle here, which I still had my Jedi, and I decided to 3-man this matchup. I'm going for veteran smuggler Han Solo in the back, as a lot of these Wookiees are pretty decently modded as well. So that Zalbar is tanky at G12, and he's already taunting. Just gonna chip away at that pretty tanky Clone Wars Chewbacca. Thinking about how far this game has gone, that's one of our starting characters that we actually use on this game. And at the time, he was extremely useful if you're a beginner, as he's one of the tankiest and continues to be one of the tankiest. As you can see here, guys, he's taking a lot of damage from Grandmaster Yoda, and he's just an absolute beast here. But we really gotta get rid of Vandor Chewbacca here, as he's keeping these Wookiees healthy. Gonna try and recover a bit of my protection there on Grandmaster Yoda before I end the battle. And I got about 62 banners there. In the back line is a Malevolence waiting, And if you've all seen all those videos online, guys, Malevolence is a really strong fleet on defense, and it's a really strong fleet for stealing banners. But I've got to say, this was probably the most success I've had against a Malevolence fleet thus far. I've tried to apply some buff immunity onto that Hound's Tooth with Anakin. However, it's already taunted. And at this point, I want to get some damage in before I cleanse off those buzz droids, as I only have buzz droids on my Hound's Tooth at this stage. But that hyena bomber comes out, and now we've got all the buzz droids coming in. So I really wanted to get that cleanse out with Plo Koon's ship. So that was the goal here. Use Anakin's AoE, I finally get Plo Koon's ship out, and I cleanse off those buzz droids, pass some turn meter onto everyone, and I'm going to focus down the hyena bomber here, as I don't want to drop any of those vulture droids on the side. But once I get my AoE, I do drop one of them, and I'm able to cleanse my Hound's Tooth from those buzz droids as well with Plo Koon's third ability. And I get the W here. And 66 banners, that's really efficient against a Malevolence squad. So I did lose one matchup here, guys, and it's been an interesting GAC. I'm quite happy with the result, and I'm quite happy with what I've learned here. The other issue is that Supreme Leader Kylo Ren wasn't as strong as I wanted it to be, like I said before, and it wasn't able to actually scrape my old Ben. My old Ben was G12, and I'm working on getting him a bit tankier for my next GAC. So I hope you guys enjoyed the content here today. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.